Hi, I'm Lynette Xanders. I'm going to tell you about Killer Brief's course and specifically why it's worth your time. I have a company called Wild Alchemy, and I am uniquely set up to help creative businesses and their agencies create something amazing through full discovery to activation. The essential difference is that I collect insights, I develop strategies that are inspirational more than informational, and I help get the team aligned on what to do next. And this optimizes that moment to get people smart really quickly, get their buy-in, and incite activation. Get them to do something with that information. I have been doing this for a long time. I have worked on a bunch of brands, some of the biggest and best brands and agencies in the world, I believe, that I'll share with you in a moment. But this is really just to give you a sense that this is not my first rodeo. And Killer Briefs is my flagship course. I've been doing it since I can remember, and I've seen it work time and again. I've written a book about it. I have done workshops around it around the country for agencies and clients. I've coached leadership teams and done training for companies on how to write a killer brief. And I've seen it work many, many, many times. So just a smattering of some of the brands that I've worked on and for, and some of the agencies I've worked with, and some of the results that I've seen. I will say that, I'm going to say this again, time and again, Killer Briefs solves about 80% of my clients' problems. And this was within the first year of activating a brand strategy, a killer brief. These are some of the results that my clients saw, which I will say equates to multi-millions of dollars. This is my book. I do not say this disparagingly, but I've written it for agency folks. So big type, few words, big impact, not a lot of fluff. It's my intent was that someone could read it on an airplane ride and put it into practice immediately. And when I was starting with writing briefs, well, I guess getting agencies to adopt a brief discipline and to care about them as much as I did, they were like, oh, this is a piece of paper and it's going to slow us down and we really just have to get to work. And by the end of my tenure at a global agency, the biggest detractors from loving briefs ended up saying, you know what, we get it now. We never seem to have enough time to do it right, but we always seem to find time to do it over. And again, they are the closest thing I found to a silver bullet. 80% of my clients' problems, regardless of kinds of clients, can be resolved with a killer brief. So whether it's a web development firm or a PR agency or an integrated agency or a CPG product or a full service or a luxury brand, this brief framework and this thinking is going to yield amazing results. I swear. So this is the lesson plan. I'm going to walk you through having the right mindset because it's key. It's not about the paper itself. It's not about the questions per se. It's about how you show up and how you think about it and how you write and how you bring your team along. Ultimately, it is about this one page, and I think you could take this into your next job, and it would help you get a job. So the mindset, the framework, which I originally got from Stan Richards and have adapted over the years. It's fairly simple, but it's very different from most agencies' frameworks. And I think, the clients and agencies that I've worked with, they have their own brief format, and that's fine. My framework is kind of a thinking worksheet. So you go through this kind of to get it nailed, and then you can go into your company's template and make that sing as much as you are able. I'm going to walk you through what makes a killer brief, We'll start with an acceptable brief, and I'll give you kind of the how I would fill it out for a hypothetical client, but also the difference between acceptable and unacceptable, and acceptable and killer. I've got candy for creatives, which, could be a visual brief, could be personas, could be, I've got quite a few techniques that help bring it to life, both in the thinking side of the equation and the execution side of the equation, which would give them in the briefing. Magical brand levers. What you put in a brief is only as good as the thinking that you put into it. So I'm going to give you some techniques and some ways to think about brands that are probably outside of what you've used to date. It's from multiple trainings, from DDB, Colin Weber, Red Spider, Count Planning Group Conference. Like, I'm bringing you all the wisdom that I've collected over the past many years, and I'm putting this into this tight little bucket for you. And then it's really the process, bringing it to life. How do you help bring everybody else along? When do you involve other people? What's a team sport? And then what do you have to do on your own? What's not a team sport? So I'll kind of walk you through the ideal process of getting everyone on that same proverbial page. Killer Briefs 2. So this is, a series. I've got 3. So the first is fundamentals. Killer Briefs 2 is about magnetism. And I'll give you more examples of discovery techniques and how to use them. Ways to find insights, inexpensive ways to find insights, and how to sell in research. Types of manifestos. Fundamentals will walk you through manifestos and kind of the basics, but I have different types, and I'll give you some more examples of those. Examples of juicy positioning lines, which is the one thing we need to tell them in the brief. How to kind of unpack the audience messaging matrix. How to create an inspirational design target. The do's and don'ts, which are best practices and common pitfalls that I found from many years and hundreds of brief reviews and transformations. And then how to hack into your poetic brain. So it's kind of the right mindset on steroids. How do you go a little bit deeper and get a little bit more romantic with how you think about your brand? And the last one is mastery. I'm going to give you case studies from the problem through the discovery, the insight, the brief, and the output. So something that ties it all together for you, that you can kind of get a better feel for how this works and how it hangs together. And I also find that examples outside your category can help you sell in and get better ideas yourselves. So lots of case studies. I'm going to give you the highlights on how to moderate a group and facilitate a workshop. That's with clients, also with your team, could be with consumers, which has been my bread and butter for years. I'm going to show you 9 places to play for positioning a brand. Some of them, I promise, you have probably not thought of. How to create adcepts, advertising concepts, so stimuli, hypotheses, and what to do with them. They have been invaluable to me in my career. I'm going to share with you that 1-page strategic planning framework. So yes, we're going to go into brief is about creating an output, but strategic planning framework is helping a client go, what are all the things we need to do? And what do we need to build in totality to kind of help you get there? And then frequently asked questions. I've got a couple of them in magnetism, but in mastery, I've got more of them about process speed bumps and how to sell in the work. So 3 course levels. Fundamentals is everything you need to write a killer brief. Clarify your thinking. It's going to save you bags of heartache on the back end while making you look good. And a creative may even buy you a drink. My litmus test was if a creative thanked me on stage. And I have had that happen. It doesn't happen very often, but I have had many creatives buy me a drink. And I think it's your job is to make the creatives' lives easier. And if they're happy, then you should be happy. So fundamentals is going to help you get there. Magnetism, I'm going to call it magical nuances. So it's around the thinking, the writing, the team building, the selling that moves you and your briefs from good to great. And then mastery, game-changing case studies. I'm going to show you the through lines between brand problems, workshop techniques, insights, process hacks, strategies, brief language, and briefing theater. The briefing is as important as the brief. And I really think that's going to reframe what killer is for you. It's going to just change the bar. So 3 different courses, each of them about 6 lessons, about 4 hours each. Fundamentals is going to include the book and a template. Magnetism is going to include a 15-minute Q&A, so I can just kind of help you with places that you're stuck. And then mastery includes 1 hour coaching with me. So I'll review your brief, give you what I would do if it was my money, help you resolve some specific issues you might have with your team or your client, so that you can win and win big. The series is $2,500. So that's 3 full courses, 18 lessons, plus a book, plus the template, plus coaching. I think it's a screaming deal. I think it's going to change your career. And I think it's going to make you fall in love with your job again as a creative strategist. I have lots of courses. Creating an executive presence, presentation skills and sales, leadership, driving, which is moving people, business feng shui, creative buoyancy. These are just a couple of them. So they're going to come out periodically. But as I said, Killer Briefs is my flagship. It's my foundation. And I think it's the best place to start. So thanks for looking through my stuff. I absolutely love what I do, and I know I can help you succeed. If you need to reach me, hit me up. Otherwise, you can buy my course on wildalchemy.com, and I hope to see you there.